Hi, everyone. I'm Robyn. I'm an actor, writer, and improviser based in LA, and I know everything about Bravo TV.
Hello, I'm Carla. I'm a writer and an improviser and an actor and all that stuff. And I know nothing about Bravo TV
Welcome to the Bravo Bubble, a podcast for Bravo-holics.
and their friends who live outside the Bravo bubble.
Yay, Carla. It's so good to see you. I'm so excited for today. I say that every time. This one, I'll just say it right off the bat. I shifted gears on your assignment because there was a lot of Vanderpump news this week. So
Mm.
we're recording in the past. So those of you hearing this in the future, you'll remember that how you felt during this time when it all came out. I have been in mourning. I watched, I'm not joking, 7 episodes before I landed on one to tell you. I
Oh,
could not decide because I just they're everyone. I'm like, oh, but she has to know about this and she has to know about this. And so it was a very tough call. And I'm grateful for this podcast though, because it gave me an excuse to just kind of sit with it,
relive the glory.
relive the glory of it all.
Vanderpump Rules.
Yes. And I'm dressy. It's 10 a.m.
Yeah,
here in LA, but I decided to wear my closest, what I think Lisa Vanderpump would wear. I do not have clothes like
I
her,
love
but
it. I
I
love
was
it.
like, I have to, you know, I'm in mourning. So
I love
we will
it.
get to we will get to
And
the
I
assignment, but
wore a hoodie.
and you wore a very comfy hoodie,
Which
which
I
is what.
slept in last night, not gonna lie.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Well, you look great. Before we jump into the show, let's catch up because you and I haven't seen each other for a couple of weeks because I was
Yeah.
out of town and there were holidays. So, how are you?
Yes. I'm great. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah. Thanksgiving was super chill. We saw Wicked, which was, of course, super fun.
Amazing.
Had a little food or a lot of it. And yeah, it was just we hung out with different friends that we don't get to see a ton. And it was just a nice catch-up day and a relaxing day. How was yours?
That is fabulous. Mine was good. I had a marathon of, I had a work gig in Vegas, and then I went straight from that. I came home, packed, went to New York, and we went to
Amazing.
visit Atul's sister. Rashmi lives there, and she is a really talented musician, and she happened to have 2 shows. So we went to her
Oh,
shows.
amazing.
And then we saw 4 Broadway shows. There's one I really want to talk about. I just love it. We started this tradition last year. We always went to visit Rashmi, but now we're seeing shows and we're cramming them in, and it's just inspiring. Like I've always
Yeah.
been like a theater geek, and just to, I don't know, there's just something about those New York shows. So
So fun. So
that was
fun.
awesome. And then I we went on a separate trip the next day with friends to Paso Robles. And then I got sick. But then I told you before we logged on, I had a good week so far career-wise. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. I booked something. I got a residual check. Those things at the end of the year made me feel really happy. So I'm
Amazing.
good.
What a great way to end the year.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So should we get
Yeah, I
into
mean, I'm
it?
trying to think if there's anything else. Nope, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay, so for this week, I was going to actually assign you, based on our last episode from the quiz, I was going to assign you something from Real Housewives of Salt Lake
Right.
City because I want to get you into that one. And then all the Vanderpump news came. So I shifted gears and I assigned you a Vanderpump episode. Before we do that, though, I just realized we have to do our segment Bravo, Bravo, blah, blah, Bravo.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Carla, in the past week or so, since we have chatted, anything Bravo related come up?
Yes. So I messaged you
Hmm.
because I was on Instagram, I think, and Dumois
Hmm.
posted that they're rebooting the entire cast for season 12 of Vanderpump. And I immediately
Hmm.
messaged you and said,
Yes.
uh-oh, or something.
Yep.
And so that was exciting. I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm like in on like the beginning of something new, which is kind of cool.
Well, that's fun. And you know what? Maybe once we get going, who knows where this will take us, but maybe then by the time that comes out, we could watch it together. It could be part of our
Yeah.
thing. So that is exciting for you. I'm devastated. And yet I
Yeah.
understand. I feel like these people are my friends, so I am like,
Oh, I'm
oh,
sorry if they're your
oh, it's
friends.
okay. No, I know, and I understand that reaction as well. I understand your reaction on that. Yes.
I've only
So,
seen one episode. Everybody don't yell at me. I'm
no, no,
sure I'll
no.
end up loving them.
Maybe, maybe not. It's part of why the show is good, is they're just like so like, really? This is
Yeah.
what you do? Okay.
But then I got to see like some celebrity reactions. I don't remember the exact ones, but like people were talking about it on Instagram, like celebrities that I follow. And then I just feel like maybe it's getting in my algorithm a little bit because I just kind of noticed all of the reaction to that big announcement when maybe I wouldn't
Yes.
have a couple months ago. I mean, it probably was the usual suspects like Nicola Coughlan, I feel like talks about this stuff. Zoe Deschanel talks about this stuff.
Fabulous. And did any other news pop up or anything else come?
Well, on TikTok, all of a sudden I was watching something that had nothing to do with House. It was probably Wicked because I'm in the Wicked algorithm right now. And Bethany Frankel popped up in an ad for L'Oreal Midnight Cream.
Oh, okay.
So I guess she's one of their, because I feel like I've seen several celebrities. Again, I don't remember which ones, but I
Mhm.
feel like there's been a few influencers, celebrity people that have been pushing that on me because
Okay.
I do look up creams a lot.
You do
So
love that midnight cream.
I
Oh,
I don't know if I love that one
that sounded
specifically,
weird.
but I want to
Okay.
try it now. Now that you
Yeah.
said it that way, I'm very interested. Maybe you should be the
Yeah.
new spokesperson.
Maybe. Well, Bethany is a gorgeous lady, so
Yeah.
it must work. I believe it. Sold.
And I think I even knew who she was before meaning like I don't think she had to say her name. And I was like, oh, that's Bethany, which was
Awesome.
exciting.
Carla, you know so much more than you did only
I
4 episodes
do.
ago.
I
This
do.
is incredible.
Also, our last episode, I messed up so many things that I've decided I have to start paying more attention.
Ah, okay, you're hilarious. Do you want to dive in?
Let's do it. That's all I
Great.
got.
I love it. Before we get to Vanderpump, you did have another assignment, so I'm going to check back in on this.
Yes, I did it.
And you don't look scared, so I think you did it.
Yeah, I did
So
it.
I your assignment was to watch Drive Back by
Yes.
Candiace Dillard Bassett from Potomac. Thoughts?
I actually thought it was a good song.
Yeah. You
I
picked a good
did.
one. You
Oh,
picked
good.
actually maybe the best song. There,
I was like
yeah.
expecting it to be a nightmare, and I was like, is that true? I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I shouldn't say that.
Well,
It's not like the bar's low. I just was like, because we were kind of teasing about all of those things, I thought, oh, this is
mhm.
going to be silly. But I actually thought she had
Yes.
a really good voice.
She does. Well, I'll be honest, when you picked that one, I was kind of like, oh no, you picked the least
The
funny one.
legitimate one.
Yes. Just because I kind of want you to see some of the
Of
campier
course.
things, which we
Yes.
will. I've decided we're going to do it again. We're going to keep going through the songs.
Well, what
Yeah,
I want to
she's,
say about that is that I think it's good for me to be reminded that some of these people are legitimately talented
yes.
and, because that will help me invest in them more than just
I love
like
that.
some vapid whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about Bravo is it's kind of like you do have this like weird fascination, or I do, like, oh, how could they make these choices? Who are these people? And then it's like, oh, they're people and they have
Yeah.
dreams and aspirations. And when we get to Vanderpump, they all had LA
Whew.
dreams, and some of them are talented. We'll talk about that later. You maybe didn't see it in this episode, but I love the drive back because it's a great song. And they did show in the season them filming that episode. So you probably didn't know, but there's a part where they get to the parking lot and the camera pans, and there's like 3 or 4 of the Potomac housewives. They're doing their little standy
Oh,
dances. Yeah.
I recognized that happening. I didn't recognize the people,
Yes.
obviously. Is that her real
Obviously.
boyfriend or was her real boyfriend in real life?
The actor?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Her
Okay.
actually, she is married, and he was, I think, in the video. He definitely helped produce it. His name is Chris. He's a chef, so he was
Cool.
not an actor in the video. One thing that made me laugh in that video was the little mini scene before the song starts.
I didn't love that. I don't want to
No.
be too dismissive because I know they were setting it up, but I was like, oh, just get into it.
Yeah. Well, we can talk honestly about it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It did make me laugh though. I was like, why did he order water? Like the waitress comes over,
Yes.
anything I can get for you? And he's like, water.
I'm
Okay.
dehydrated.
Is that supposed to mean something? Like immediately you know he's into that girl? Like what is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has that
So,
ever happened to you in real life? Because I feel like I've seen this trope. I'm going to call it a trope of like
mhm.
the guy like staring at the hot girl when he's with his girlfriend. And I've that's never happened to me in real life, and I've never seen that happen in real life, but I've seen it a lot on
It
TV and
has
film.
happened to me in real life. And sadly,
Wow.
it's because I often dated people who wouldn't acknowledge that we were together. So if we were out in public, then it would be like very hurtful to see them just doing that
Oh,
so publicly. Yeah, that's actually happened to me a lot. We don't need to get
right.
into that right now. I'm
But
so
not where you
happy now.
were, but not where you were. Okay, but that's slightly different. Like if they wouldn't acknowledge you in public,
Hmm.
right? Like
Right.
if you're with someone though, public, because I was thinking like, oh yeah, that's happened to me too, where I was like dating, where I was
Yes.
sleeping with someone and
Uh,
not dating them, and then that, yeah.
right.
But like if you're with someone, anyways, I'm just saying it's an interesting
Sure.
trope to
For
think
sure.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's a good question. I think that's good. And our listeners are getting to know a little bit about us now. So,
Yeah. I'm
because we are
married
both
though.
we're both happily married.
Hmm.
So, those things are from the past. Okay, next question. I do want to assign you another song for next
Okay.
week. So, I'm going to recap some song titles. And I love that you picked Drive Back because you were just like, what is it about? And you were right about what it was about, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna recap some titles and then you just pick the one that resonates
Okay.
the most for you. Okay. So we have Tardy for the Party, Money Can't Buy. What you got had a reaction to that.
I already want that one.
Oh, it's okay. So maybe that one. Money Can't Buy You Class, On Display,
Hmm.
Waking Up in the Morning, I Can't Wait to Grow Up, Expensive, spelled XXPEN $SIVE, Faya, spelled FYAH, Feelin' Giovanni, Whatever I Want, Good as Gold, although you just saw that one, Touch in Public, or Feelin' You.
What is the Giovanni one? I'll do that one because I don't know what Giovanni is.
Okay, Feelin' Giovanni, it is. I'm going to give you no context and we'll talk about
Okay.
it later. So I will send you the link. I'm just going to highlight that so I remember to send it to you. Love it.
I love that
Okay,
you're taking admin notes. You're taking
I
meeting
have to.
notes.
You know how I am. Very type A. Okay, so let's get into Vanderpump Rules. I
Okay.
assigned you season 2, episode 14. It is the season finale of the second season, so it's in the
Hmm.
Wayback Machine. Carla, what were your first impressions?
I have so many notes on this one.
Okay, great.
This could be intense. This is the craziest, most bananas show I've ever seen. I think it is the craziest reality show I've ever seen, at
Okay.
least based on this one episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was nonstop, like
It
from start
was.
to finish. Like even in the recap, I wrote 1 minute, 7 seconds in, and I'm like, uh-oh, these people are very upset.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was just like a ride, I felt the whole
It,
time.
high drama, nonstop
Mhm.
drama. I kind of love that that's your reaction because I think that's part of what makes this show stand out is just like this is like they're real people. They all knew each other before the show. Like it's not
Oh,
like
they
they were put,
did.
oh yeah, it's not like this was a put together cast. They have a real history. Like they were all like roommates, dating. They all worked at Sir before the show started. So you got to see the
Okay, I have
OGs.
questions real quick.
Yes, yes,
Was Sir always Lisa's restaurant and something that she was already doing? I think actually, yeah, as I'm saying that out
yes,
loud, in the last episode, she talked about the restaurant, right?
yes,
And then the
yes,
producers were like, "Oh my gosh, we should do a show about your restaurant." Okay.
yes. The producers or her. I mean, she's such a
Yeah.
smart business person. I honestly was almost going to start you at episode 1 because you get to really get into the restaurant. And then I was like, I gotta give you something where they're already in it. And then if you're curious, we can go back. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Love it. What stands out to you about this show? This may be the same question. Anything specific?
Oh, I want this to be fun and funny, but
Yes.
this is a very serious kind of reaction that I
It's
had.
okay.
So I'm being honest, which it
Yes.
feels a little sexist.
Yep.
It kind of feels like the worst, even though I was fascinated the whole time and I
Mm-hmm.
was laughing, it kind of
Mm-hmm.
feels like the worst of maybe this type of show. The worst
Mm-hmm.
moments. Like everybody's
Yes.
behaving very poorly, is what it felt
Yes.
like.
You are correct.
I still
And
laughed. I still was
it,
like, this
I
is
do
bananas.
I do
But I
think
was
it's
also
one of
like, yeah,
yeah, I think it's one of the funniest shows. It makes me laugh every
yeah,
time because
yeah,
you're kind of like, how are these real people doing these things and saying
yes.
these things? It's not really anything we have in our friend groups, I don't think.
No.
So it's to me just wild to watch. As you go through the years, I do think you kind of get to know them a little better, and I have a soft spot for most of them
Hmm.
over time. Yet, it's exactly what you said. The show has been accused. It's early 2000s, right? So this is 2000. It premiered in 2010, I think. So
Oh,
this is season two. So this
wow.
is 2011. So you're going to see there are a lot of misogynistic things. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. And there's some slut shaming going on.
Yes,
There's
yes. Big time slut
those
shaming.
things
Yeah.
definitely happen. I think the show evolved well, did it? I
As
think it did
as culture and
as
society.
culture and society. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really a time capsule of that time. And I think it's a very accurate time capsule of that time in terms of that,
Yeah.
that's what was happening.
Yeah.
So they kind of put it all out there. So I find it fascinating. I totally agree. Every episode has something where I'm like, oh, that's wrong. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, but it's like, it's reality TV. I'm not expecting it to be
yeah,
perfect or whatever. I was just that was my general impression. Although it was wild. Like I was fascinated and entertained as well. So
yeah.
it was all it can be more than one thing, right? It can be
It
all of the
can be.
things.
These shows are multifaceted. They
Yes,
are.
exactly. I did write down the most relatable thing in the show are the holes in this woman's sweater. Like one of the first scenes, she has like holes. I forget.
Stassi, I
It was
think.
Stassi. Yeah, I think so. I think
Yes.
that was before I knew her or remembered her name because it was so early
Yes.
on. But I was like, oh wow, I would totally wear that sweater.
Yes. And Stassi's very fashionable. I
Yes.
noticed that too, because I was like, oh, she's got little holes in her sweater.
Yeah.
That's odd that you would choose to wear that on TV.
Yeah.
Very, that's funny.
Totally something I would do. So I was like, well, that makes sense to me. I did write down early on, Kristen is lying. It's very obvious to me that she is lying,
Mhm.
especially when she was lying to Tom. I was like, whew, this
Ooh,
is really clearly you're lying. And I felt really
yeah.
bad for him. And
Yeah.
he was very sweet
Yeah, in this episode,
in this episode.
that's you see it, right? So it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm starting you there. And because I always had a soft spot for Tom because of moments like this, like when he's like, look, she's going through this alone. I got to be there for her. I was like, that
Yeah.
stuff would back in the day, like make me tear up. I'd be like, who is this guy? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So
He
yeah, you
does
kind
feel
of,
like in this one episode, I don't know anything else about him, obviously, but he feels like a rom-com leading man, you
yep.
know.
Yeah.
Um,
And just for those of you listening, I'm realizing like we've been kind of assuming that you're watching the episodes along with us. So if you hadn't, just a very quick recap. This is the episode where s- by the end of it, like Stassi is trying to get Sandoval to understand that Jax and Kristen have slept together, and Kristen won't admit it, won't admit it, won't admit it. And then there's a big final blow up at Sir where she does admit it. And Sandoval punches Jax. There's so much happens. So we don't need to do a whole recap. I just want to make sure there's context in case
yeah.
people are wondering. Yeah, Kristen lying. It was very interesting to watch because there were certain things that people said, and you could just see in her eyes that, like, oof. Yeah.
Yeah. That was rough. Yeah, that was upsetting to watch, but like fascinating again. So Craig, my husband, went out to get coffee for us.
Uh-huh.
And I swear to God, he opened the door and our TV is right next to our front door. And Stassi says, "Why do you think I hit her fucking face? Because I think she is a disgusting lying whore." Craig walks in, he stops, and he shrugs and he's like, "No judgment."
Oh, that's amazing. Well, that line really stood out to me. Like,
Oh
it's
my God.
so wild. And this stuff happens all
No
the time.
judgment.
Atul will be in the other room. He will judge. He's like, these are horrible people. Why are you watching this? But he'll just
Yeah.
start laughing from the other room. Like there was one moment where Sheena's singing Good as Gold on the
Oh.
counter, and she in her interview clip goes, something like everything's going great. I think I'm on pitch or I think I sound good. And he just started laughing. So it seeps in to our significant others, whether
Of
they like it or
course.
not. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
will say
think I'm on pitch.
later he was in the kitchen and I don't remember what part, but he goes gross under his
Oh
breath.
no. Yeah, that's fair. But hey, I like that he's trying to have no judgment.
Yeah,
That's nice.
when he knows that I can hear him, he's trying to have
Yes,
no
fair,
judgment.
fair. Sometimes he can't help it.
Ah. I thought
Okay.
that interestingly, all of the men, and this is based on this one episode,
Hmm.
all of the men look the same or like have
Oh.
like are the same type.
Uh-huh. Yes, that's fair.
I'm talking physically. Obviously,
Yep.
there's
Yep.
different whatever. And that all of the women look like they're trying to dress like Lisa Vanderpump.
That's amazing. Oh, it's so funny.
They
Yeah,
all kind of blended.
the guys were all, for the most part, models, or they used to call them mactors, like model
Act.
actors.
Oh,
Oh, well, that's what they called themselves. So they all
it's
did
so
kind of
gross.
look the same. And then the women, I think they are just gorgeous.
Yeah.
There is a fun, like, early 2000s snapshot of fashion too. There's always like these
Hmm.
huge chunky necklaces that they wear, and they like, yeah, I could
Yeah.
see that though. I mean, everyone's trying to please Lisa in,
Right.
show, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. That was interesting. Okay, so I wrote down a lot, which I won't read all of it, but a lot about how everybody was like, even Stassi was more mad at Kristen than she was at Jax,
Yes.
and how everyone kept saying to Tom, well, I'd be more mad at Kristen
Yep.
because Jax is an awful person, and we already knew that.
Hmm.
But Kristen is a liar. And it's like, oh, that's really effed up. That is
Yep.
very, oh, like some of that kind of stuff, again, not to get too serious or
Hmm.
whatever, but this is my honest response. I feel like ha was like the beginnings of where we find ourselves today, where
Yeah.
like
Oh,
men are
yeah.
forgiven very easily
Hmm.
and women are, when they're in the public and held to a certain standard.
Yes.
I'm sure this is all very obvious, but it was so repetitive in this episode that I feel like I
Hmm.
have to talk about
I
it.
think that's spot on. And it's actually one of the things with the show. It's the same thing you talked about earlier, like the criticism of it is that
Mm,
that is a very real thing. It's happening in the show. Now, as the seasons go on, it does shift a little. People start to call out the guys more. And
good.
Kristen, she's having a redemption right now. So I think
Oh.
we may or may not get into that later because I don't want to spoil anything. They used to call her Crazy Kristen, and like she
Mm,
was, and you'll see in some of the other episodes, it is wild. She was in a relationship where this guy was cheating on her, and she just was amped up in that time. And yet everyone was like, what about her? Blame her, blame her. And
yeah.
over time, people start to see, like, oh, okay, maybe that wasn't the
Yeah.
right thing. Like, Jax is definitely not forgivable. And you'll see as time goes
Oh,
on, like,
he's awful.
he's
And
the
he's
worst.
playing it up, which makes it worse. Do you know what
Yeah,
I
he's
mean?
horrible. Yes.
Like you can tell he's also just like, this is what I've chosen, so I'm just gonna
Hmm.
lean into this character that I'm playing. It's so gross. Like
Yeah,
I really, really, and also, never mind, I won't say that.
it's okay. You can say it.
I was just like, he's not that. whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
I think people
I don't
have
think I'd be
mixed.
attracted to him in real
Sure,
life.
sure, sure, sure. Some people are very attracted to him, and he kind of,
Mm.
and some people are not. And that is one of my questions. I'll skip ahead. One of my questions was, you are a heterosexual woman, so
Mm.
were you attracted to any of the men in this? Like, and
No.
if so, who? Okay, just not your type.
No. But also like there it feels like very young and like
Yes.
I mean
Back in the
Tom was
day.
the sweetest.
Hmm.
I just would never have no, no, I don't think
Okay,
so.
great,
Yeah.
great. That's
You?
fair. Yeah, I think back in the day I would have and was like I thought Tom was very cute.
Yeah.
And
He's cute. He
I
is. Yeah.
yeah, and the other Tom I think is cute too. So in different ways. You didn't see much of him this episode.
Is he the blonde?
He's a key
Okay.
player down the line.
Okay.
So Jax, no, never. Like, ugh.
Mm-mm.
I was gonna say sorry because we don't like to say bad things about people, but he's done a lot of things to a lot of people, so it's okay.
Yeah. No, he's kind of like the worst of the worst. I really don't like people like that in
Mhm.
general in any industry or walk of life who are
Right.
just like embracing the bad of themselves instead of like owning up to, I mean, Kristen, I'm not excusing Kristen. Seems like she did something terrible,
Hmm.
based on how everybody is so hurt. But like, I don't know, just to continuously be like, well, you should be m more mad at Kristen when Jax is just like
Right.
hanging out, like, hey guys, I had sex with her, and like, aren't I
Hmm.
awful? It's so gross.
Yeah.
Eh. It makes for a
Eh.
great villain. It makes for a gr fantastic
He is, I
villain.
will give him that. He's one of the best reality villains, I think, ever.
Yeah,
So there
I
is
can see that
that.
already. So
Yeah.
good for him.
Good for him. And yeah, he's getting his comeuppance kind of right now.
Ooh.
So I do have a couple more questions. I'm gonna focus on this episode for our whole episode. So any other specific moments that made you laugh, gasp, or groan?
Yeah. Okay, so I have some quotes, if that's okay.
Okay, love that.
I loved it when Jax was like modeling and he was like, you look angry, look confused, always look confused. I
Hmm.
thought that was very funny
It
and
was
also
hilarious.
kind of a good tip.
Yeah, no, it works because they show him doing it, and you're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that kind of
models
does
do
work.
do that. That works.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. I thought that was
Um,
funny too.
I want to talk about, okay, so I have this quote, but it leads to a discussion, and then we'll come back to the quotes real
Great.
quick, which is Lisa saying, like, he's acting like it's a charitable donation.
Which is in reference to because Jack's like, well, he says something like, please your girlfriend, and then you won't have this problem. So she's
Right.
referring to that Jax is like, look, I did everyone a favor by giving my sex to Kristen. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, and it's a funnier like LOL throughout the episode for me of just like Lisa reacting to this drama the whole time.
yeah.
I really love her in this context.
Yay. Okay,
Like
good. I do too.
huge fan. I already liked her, but like this makes so much sense why they did this because her being kind of like the mama hen or like the queen bee really
Yes.
is so funny and makes so much sense and just her trying to teach these kids how
Hmm.
to morally behave and be
Right.
ethical and like be adults and grow up. I don't know. I just really loved that whole dynamic. I thought it was
Yay.
very entertaining. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy because I
Yeah.
love her.
Oh my
And
God.
I that was one of my questions. Any thoughts about Lisa on this show versus what you saw in Housewives? And you saw her at a very hard time in her life during that Housewives
Yeah.
episode. So yeah, you see a totally different context here.
Yeah. I love her just like being in charge and, kind of telling people definitely telling people what to do, but also you
Hmm.
can see that she's like invested in them as
Yep.
people, which I think is really sweet. Or at least in this
Hmm.
one episode, that's what it seemed like. I don't know. Yeah, I liked it. And her just kind of commenting on their behavior.
Yes, she's really funny, I
She's
think.
very funny.
And she is also no BS. So she'll, have these comments and then be like, no, what are you thinking? Like, I
Yeah.
love that she's like because she in real life, she and Kristen did not get along, and that is real.
Mm,
Like they did not like each other. And yet, when Stassi smacks Kristen, Lisa's like,
yeah,
you have to apologize. Like, you cannot do that. Like,
right.
so I think, and whether it's for cameras or not, I believe her. I always feel like she's usually on the side of right. And
Yeah,
I really, really enjoy her. Also,
yeah.
she's been with Ken since she was like very, very young. Like, so she's like kind of the opposite of what's happening on the show. Like, she's been
Mm,
in a very stable relationship and marriage, you know, for a
for
long time.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I dug it. I'm excited to see more of her. I loved it when Stassi was like, when they, okay, so they're talking about the photo shoot, which was bananas, but
Uh-huh.
oh, and the photo shoot when I was watching those scenes, so they're like next to the pool. Clearly it's on
Hmm.
top of some hotel. Maybe they showed.
Yes,
I don't know
the
which one.
Andaz. It is in West
Oh,
Hollywood.
okay,
Yes.
great. All very LA. But
Hmm.
like watching it, I was like, this is why people think LA sucks. Because this is not really LA.
Exactly. Oh,
This is
it's
an
so funny.
element of LA, but these are the kinds of things that get shown about LA that make people be like, I can't live there.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I think there are people though that like there's an earlier episode where they're just like, part of why I love being a server is we work at night. And they show them just at the Mondrian jumping around in the pool, or I think maybe it was
Yeah,
this place, like during the day. And I think there are people who do that type
totally.
of
A
thing
hundred
here. It's
percent.
not our world.
No.
So I also kind of chose this because I think it's so bizarre. They, in the early seasons, they do this at the end of each year. They do this Sir photo shoot, which is like, who does this? Like
Yeah.
a photo shoot, everybody's like basically naked. Like
Yes.
it's so
And they
funny.
are. They really get
Well,
naked in this,
they
which I
did,
was like,
yes.
this would not fly today. There
Oh
would be
no.
no way they would do this.
No, there's a lot that wouldn't fly today. Yeah.
Yeah, which is good because that was like creepy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was funny, but it was also like maybe not all these women were into it. Like we didn't get to see the
Yeah.
point of view of all the models, who were
Right.
doing it. Anyways, but I did love it when Stassi during that photo shoot was like, I highly doubt this is going on at the Olive Garden.
So funny. Such a good quote.
Oh, that was so good. I don't know who this character was because I didn't understand all the different names except for the main players in this, but in reaction to what's the woman's name whose engagement party it was?
Sheena.
Sheena, in reaction to her getting on the bar and starting to sing and dance her song, one of the other women was like, I already have douche bumps.
Oh, that's Katie. So Katie so
Can't believe
is
I've
also
never. Is that something you've heard before?
I've never heard it. I don't know if she made it up. She's very funny as well. So she is a maiden player. She's just in the early, not in this episode. So Katie and Tom Schwartz, they're big time main players throughout.
Okay.
This episode didn't really focus on them so much. So yeah, that was Katie.
She was very funny. And then Sheena,
Hmm.
I just got my teeth fixed. They knocked me over.
Oh, I died. I died. And you know what's funny is that
I, oh,
in the early seasons, she always has some kind of physical ailment happen. Like she falls at her other birthday party. She did get her teeth fixed because I think that was at a bar. She fell and had a teeth thing happen. So
oh my
it was
God.
traumatizing for her.
Yeah.
But when the fight breaks out, she's really crying. She's like, I just got Oh,
I would be more like, this is my engagement party, you
right.
jerks. Here's a quote that I had at the very end.
Uh-huh.
I said, that's only season two. Because I was
Yeah.
like, how do you heighten beyond
Yeah.
this drama? But I have heard some spoilers later on.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to talk about it or?
Yes, but you don't have to confirm or deny anything. I do know
Okay,
that
great.
like there's a couple that everybody thought was together, but then the audience finds out that they were with other people or something
Mm,
later on. So you don't have to
okay.
confirm or deny.
Great.
But something about that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Or
get
like
to
one
that.
of one of them in the couple was with somebody else in the cast maybe, and it was like or a secret, but people were suspecting it, and then it was revealed to be true. I think that
Yes.
happened in the last year.
That was season 10, yes.
Okay.
And it was called Scandival. And
Oh,
it's
yes,
going to
yes,
be
yes, yes.
one of my questions in a little bit. So I'm going to give you a little quiz on what you know beyond this episode. So, yes,
Oh,
that,
now I get it. Sandoval and
yep,
Scandival. Okay.
Scandival. Pretty
He
funny.
cheats on someone. Oh,
Hmm.
Tom.
I know.
Tom,
I
how
know.
could you? Oh,
I
buddy. Oh,
I
no.
love your genuine reaction, Carla, because everyone
That is
listening who
sad.
knows, they know so much about Tom.
Mm,
That it will blow your mind when you get to that because
okay.
you did feel because I was always like, oh, he's so sweet. Look at this, look at that. Yeah, it's pretty major. It's pretty
Ooh.
major.
That's rough after watching him cry about
I
being cheated
know.
on.
Yep.
Whew. Fame
Ooh,
does weird stuff to people.
it does. It does.
Okay.
So, ooh, okay, great. Those quotes were awesome. Thank you for writing those down.
Yes.
Couple more quick questions. Favorite or least favorite, I call them characters?
Lisa,
Great. Love it.
totally the best. I'm not really on board with any of the others in terms of like people that I like.
That's fair.
But it's one episode. I'm not
Yep.
saying I probably will change my mind. Least favorite Jax, 1000%. What a nightmare person. Yeah.
Yes, great. As a writer, who would you want to follow for future storylines seasons? You already said, I don't know where you go from here.
Yeah.
Who might you follow?
Oh gosh. I mean, Lisa, obviously, because she's like the glue that
Hmm.
it seems like holds them all together. So that makes sense. But like just to give a fun answer, the I already have douche bumps woman, if she's funny, I would totally want to follow her.
I love it. Oh, great, great. I'm curious what our listeners
That's
think about
Kate, you
your
said?
answers. Katie. Yes,
Katie.
Katie. Great. Love that. So I'll give you my quick reasons why I picked this episode because I really went back and forth. One, obviously, because of the VPR news this week, I had to shift gears from
Yes.
Salt Lake City. And you had already wanted to see this show. And I kept being like, let's wait. It's kind of in a weird spot right now. I did not think it wasn't coming back. So now that we have this news, I think I got to get you in here. Also, in our previous seasons, you did New York in the first season, but it was a mid-season episode. And then I had you do a season beginning of Beverly Hills. So I thought it would be good to have you watch a season finale of a show where everything has already built up and you get to see the climax of it. So that was part of it. And then, of course, because they're at Sir and you need to know about Sexy Unique Restaurants, and it's
Oh,
the
that's what
early
that
core.
stands for.
Yes, yes.
Is
It's
there one or is it like a chain?
that's the only one. There
Okay.
are other restaurants that you'll see. That's kind of the main one that this show takes place in. And then, yeah, the early core cast, it's like they're kind of unmatchable. The Sir photo shoot because it's so absurd and so LA. And then also the Sir Alley. And I rewatched the episode this morning, but then I didn't get to watch the last 5 minutes because I ran out of time. There's a scene where Tom and Jax are in the
Hmm.
alley, right?
Hmm.
Okay, which is wild. The
Hmm.
alley is pretty iconic. Like with this
Oh.
show, it's like where all they're always like going on a smoke break and then some drama ensues in the alley. So I felt like we needed an episode where you got to see some drama in the Sir
Mm,
alley. So that's kind of why I chose those things. So now
yeah.
I I have a little quiz based on now you know a little bit about the world. So these are just random to see where you're at. Which one of these people were key players in Scandival if you had to take a guess? There are two of them in this episode.
Oh.
Hmm.
Tom.
Yep, obviously.
I don't think he and Kristen stay together, is I'm guessing.
That's correct. I don't think you're going to get this one. I'm just throwing it out there because it's kind of wild.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so you don't see her much. Her name is Ariana, and she's Sheena's bestie. So you see them at the wedding shop. So that Tom and Ariana were a couple for a long, long time, like 9 years,
Really?
like
Oh, wow.
right after this. So that's part of the drama where Kristen thought that there was something going on there, and
Um,
there's a whole other layer. So she is the woman that was scorned in this. Now, the person that I won't tell you who the person that Tom has the affair with is. You'll find that out later.
Okay.
So Vanderpump Rules started as a spinoff from Beverly Hills, and the way they did it was you were watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Lisa brings one of the current cast members into SUR and is like, "Okay, are you sure you want to do this?" And then she is also talking to one of the main Vanderpump people who are a server, and she's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" The backstory is that one of these servers had an affair with one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills husbands back in the day. And later, this woman's like her marriage crumbled and she finds out that this person had an affair. So you're watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and you see this scene where the wife comes in and talks to this server, and then boom, Vanderpump Rules credits, and then you're into the first episode,
What?
which was amazing at the time because no one knew it was coming. So you think you're watching this episode and then it goes into the next. So I'm curious if you have a guess on which cast member, which server was the one that was the start of the whole show that had the affair and had the sit down.
Wait. So it was female who had an
Mhm.
affair with a housewife's husband. Okay.
Yes,
Was it Stassi?
it was not.
I don't know.
All right. It was Sheena Shea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and that is a big part of season one because Sheena comes from the other restaurant and the other servers are like, she's a homewrecker, like that kind of a thing.
Mm,
So that is the start of all of it was Sheena, or at least that's
okay.
the entry point. Okay. If you can recall, which couples are still together from this show, if any? So we
I mean,
had,
Lisa and Ken,
yes,
Tom and Katie.
sadly, no.
I don't know any of the other couples. Oh,
Yeah, that's
Sheena and
okay.
her guy. Sheena and her guy.
Sadly,
No,
no.
I don't think I know any of the other characters. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I think you're right. So both of those couples got married. Obviously, Sheena and then Tom and Katie did get married. Both are now divorced from those
Aw.
couples. Yeah. And
Or maybe a yay. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. And then I don't think anyone else, yeah, Tom and Kristen are not together. Tom and Ariana were together, now are no more. No one else. Yeah. Okay. And Jax was with somebody, you'll find out that later.
We
Because he
gotta
was with a lot
have
of people.
oh, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure. We gotta have Jamie and ABD on to tell us who they saw at Universal Studios.
Oh, yes, that's a whole thing. And that's something that you don't really know much about. So, yes, we will do that. I love that. So, our
It's two of
friends,
our friends, yeah.
yeah, two of our
Who
friends who are hilarious and do watch the shows saw some key players at Universal Studios a couple years
and
ago.
like talked to them and like went up to them
Yeah,
and yeah.
hung out. Yes, we'll definitely do that. Okay, next question. What type of business do you think something about her is? It's the name of a business. Something about her.
Something about her, a perfume, a scent
Mm.
business.
Hmm. Good guess. It's a sandwich shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are we making sandwiches gender now? Is that
I know it's an interesting name, right? I
Yeah.
think they said the inspiration was, oh, there's something about her sandwiches. That is a sandwich shop, though. It exists. It's very popular. It's in West Hollywood. We'll go sometime. I've never been.
Is it
So
Lisa's restaurant?
it is not. You want to take a guess on whose it is from the cast?
It's Stassi's.
No.
No, I'm just gonna say Stassi
Stassi,
for everything that you
that's
ask.
fair. Stassi does have a lot of successful businesses. It's actually Katie, who you love, and
Oh.
Ariana. They
Oh.
are business partners. Yeah.
Ooh, I hope
So
that Tom didn't cheat on her with Katie if they're
I
business
can't tell
partners.
you. I can't tell you. You've got to wait to find out.
I'll
All
Google
right.
it as soon as
Yeah.
we get off.
Great. Oh no. Oh, you can if you want, but
No, I
you
won't.
won't.
I
I
won't.
kind of feel like I want you to discover it naturally. All right. Which one of these, I've put actors, which one of these people, cast members, just made a seven-figure deal for their podcast with Podcast One?
Whoa. Jax. Who?
I'm going to give you another guess.
Oh, you're not going to give me a
Get,
hint. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
going to give you, well,
Stassi. Stassi?
yes, yes,
Okay.
because I knew you would get it. Yes, Stassi. Okay. Which of these characters or people just sang in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
Oh, I just watched it. I don't
They
know which
sang,
one.
okay. They sang, I believe it was a Cranberries song.
Yes, yes, it was not very good. Was it Sheena?
Oh, it wasn't Sheena.
Who was
It
it?
was Ariana.
Ariana. I am sorry, Ariana. I didn't love it. I remember because I watched it twice because I love the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade. So I watched it back to back, and both
Yes.
times I was like, who is this
Oh,
person? And I didn't Google them.
interesting.
Yeah.
So you had no idea. Now, so I think she is a good singer. I saw her. She was in actually Chicago on Broadway recently, and I saw her. So I, she's got a lot of opportunities since Scandal. So that's been an
Oh,
interesting thing. Like
well, good for
it was,
her.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, I think it's interesting though. It's like, wait, what? One of these people is singing in
Yeah.
Thanksgiving? Yep. Yep. Yeah.
I I wonder if she was the one. There were a few women that I didn't recognize, a couple women I didn't recognize, and one of them had because they lip sync at the
Uh-huh.
and one
Yep.
of them had the mic so up on their mouth that when they pulled it away, their lipstick was all over
Oh, that's
their face.
hilarious.
And I was like, "Oh
I didn't watch it, so maybe I'll have to go watch it and see. I just have a couple quotes, only three. I'm curious. I want to see if you can guess who said these quotes from the current cast. All right, ready?
no."
I am the devil, and don't you forget it.
I am the devil, and don't you forget it. Mm. Stassi.
Yes, ding, ding, ding. I believe that was episode one of season one. All right, who said this? Hashtag it's all happening.
Hashtag it's all happening. Well, I know that Penny Lane said that in Almost
Yes,
Famous.
yes,
Hashtag it's all happening. Sheena.
yes. Good guess. Yes, that's a very Sheena thing to do. And then who said, I'm the number one guy in this group?
Jax.
Yep, 100%. Good. Carla, you're doing so well based on just seeing
Thank
snippets of
you.
everyone. Okay. So normally at this point, I give you like some general Bravo questions to assess where I'm going to put you. And we're not going to do that this time because I'm going to use a combo of this episode and the last quiz to choose your next assignment because we shifted gears to Vanderpump and I wanted to spend extra time on Vanderpump.
I
Yeah.
kind of want to keep watching Vanderpump, but I also understand that I need to see more of Housewives. So,
I know it's so hard because once you see an episode, I knew you were going to want to watch.
yeah.
So, we also have a holiday break coming up, so maybe I can give you a couple key things to watch. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe I can watch like a couple at a time of Vanderpump the next time you give me an assignment from that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe I give you the main assignment and then I let you watch one other episode of Vanderpump. Like we could do it in tandem. It's
Or
just so
maybe I
much to
get
talk
really
about.
high and turn it on and call you, and I just let you listen to me watch all of
I
it.
mean, I would love that. I would
Yes.
love it. And we have to have a business meeting soon. I think
Yes.
we should do it at Sir. Let's
Yeah.
make that
Oh
happen
my gosh,
because
that'd be so fun.
yeah, and I think they'll be filming the new cast. So who knows? We could go on a night where they might be there.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Do you
Yeah.
know, so if all these people worked at Sir and now they're starting over, did they fire all the people at Sir?
No, over time, the show got so successful that they didn't really actually need to work at Sir anymore. They
Okay, of
had different
course. Yeah.
opportunities. So you'll see a little bit later in the seasons, it's kind of like they're there, but it seems maybe a little forced. Like, oh,
Hmm.
maybe they didn't really work there full time, but they were there. So the early seasons are really good, which is part of why people are excited a little bit about the reboot because it's going to be people starting out again working there. Now, some people did get fired from Sir. Well, we can talk about that later, though.
Do you think that I mean, I'd love to get your thoughts without too many spoilers. So, good luck. But do you think the producers were just like, this got too toxic or this got too old feeling?
So
Like
there,
the same.
yeah, there's a lot of theories on it. One is, yes, it felt like they had nowhere to go in the story because Scandival blew up their world. Like,
Mm,
because people were mad, so mad at Tom. Ariana did not want to film with Tom. And
yeah,
then,
of
for
course.
obviously, and then she was like, well, who knew about this and was protecting him because it wasn't just like a one-time thing. He cheated on her for 7 months with somebody that she thought was her friend. So maybe I'll throw you into there. Maybe we'll jump there next time and I'll
Let's
show
do
you.
it.
So I am gonna, I think, give you a Salt Lake City one too.
Yeah.
So it was a wild thing, and then it was like friends had to kind of choose, and then it was kind of like, well, some of these people are no longer actually friends. Like they wouldn't,
Mhm.
that's one of the theories, and I do think that a lot of that is true. Also, each year their salary increased and they got very expensive. And Ariana has a million opportunities right now. She is crushing it.
Really?
She was on Dancing with the Stars. She was on Broadway. She
Oh,
hosts Love Island. So
which
that's
I've
like a
never
show that
seen.
I haven't either, but people love it. So she's crushing it. So for her to come back, like I'm sure the rumor is that she demanded a lot of money and they were like, no.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm gonna give Ariana another chance with her singing. I feel bad that I said that I didn't like
Don't
it.
feel
I was just
bad.
I would think I was just confused. Like to see a singer for the first time on the Macy's Day Parade is not
Yeah.
ideal.
No, I don't think that's maybe the forum to get the best of the best.
Yeah.
Don't worry though, we have to be honest here. Like, and we
Yeah.
already will say, like, we're performers as well. So we understand the ups and downs of it. Like, we're not trying to say like a blanket statement, like this person is bad. You're saying I didn't enjoy that performance, and that's
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it is okay. You're right. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm such a people
Yeah.
pleaser. I'm like, I don't
I,
want to
oh, same.
upset any Ariana fans if they're listening.
Exactly. And they are big time Ariana fans, and rightly so, I think. So yeah, I think the producers probably were like, there's nowhere to go. And also over time, your favorite character, Lisa, there wasn't as much of a reason for her on the show because we
Mm,
were so following all the other people's lives and it wasn't in the restaurant as much. So this will bring it back more to Lisa,
cool.
which I'm down with. I think that's great.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
her. I love her.
I love her. Okay. Well, I think that's it. This was so fun.
We want
Go
to do
ahead.
recommendations real quick because I want to hear
Oh,
about the Broadway shows that you
recommendations.
saw.
Great. We want to do a
So
new
we're going to start
segment.
doing this thing, yeah, where we recommend something we consumed this week that is not Housewives.
That is true. Okay. Carla, recommendation.
I listened to this podcast called Noble, and it's all about where they burn the bodies after somebody dies, a crematorium.
Oh, oh, okay.
Thank you. It was coming to me. So it's about a crematorium, and it was discovered that the owners of the crematorium were not burning the bodies properly. And they discovered lots and lots of bodies on the property, not even buried properly. So that's kind of like the hook of the podcast. But then it becomes this exploration of like, because the person who was responsible for this was put on trial and was threatened to be serving life in prison. And so it became this
Okay.
discussion of like, well, this person didn't kill these people. They just couldn't keep up with the demand
Oh.
and were just bad at their job. So at what point does it is it like an ethical thing when someone
Hmm.
is dead and not
Oh.
buried? And like what's the
Oh.
responsibility there? But it's just a really fascinating exploration of that moral question. Anyways, it's really good. I think it's like the
Wow.
number one on the New Yorker podcast end of the year, which I was like, I feel
Okay.
so smart uh that I also listen to this.
Oh, so
Um
so smart.
yeah, Noble, Noble, really interesting. Yeah, that's it. That's my recommendation.
Fabulous. Okay, my recommendation is specific. So I said I went to New York. So if you're in New York, we saw four shows. They were all really good. One of them that I was dying to see is they have a remount of Sunset Boulevard.
Oh,
Okay. And
yes.
this
Hmm.
started in the West End. Nicole Scherzinger is in it. And I just heard it was amazing. And I love like the melodramatic opera type
Hmm.
stuff. I just love it. Now, I heard it was a great show. We were there over Thanksgiving, and so Monday nights usually theater is dark, but they add shows on Thanksgiving week, and so there was
Oh,
a Monday
wow.
night show. Nicole was not in it, and so from what I've heard, she's unbelievable. But this is so wild. On my gig in Vegas, my friend Ashley and I, we were in the cab from the hotel to the airport, and the driver, I said I was going to New York, and he's like, "Oh, this girl I went to high school is in on Broadway right now. She's the lead in Sunset Boulevard." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, Mandy Gonzalez." So actually, she was and she's not the understudy. She's like been in a bunch of Broadway, so she's like the alternate when Nicole's not there. So they don't bill it that
Gotcha.
way. She's billed as the guest star. So it was so weird. And so we went, and I was blown away by this production because
Yeah.
they all are in black and white. They
Mhm.
use a video screen, so it feels like a movie. There's cameras filming people on the stage, like so you
Amazing.
have angles of them up on the screen. And then the start of Act Two, this guy, Tom Francis, who's the male lead, it starts in the dressing rooms and they film this whole bit over the overture of him interacting with everybody. Then he walks out of the theater live and sings this song walking through Times Square, like under the thing, under the marquees, like then the cast joins, and then they end up at the
What?
doors of the theater that you are sitting in, all live. Mind absolutely blown, Carla. Atul and I have downloaded, we have listened on repeat to Tom Francis singing Sunset Boulevard.
Boulevard,
We,
Wretched Boulevard.
oh,
I know the whole
it's,
soundtrack. Yeah.
it's so good. I want to see it again. I had chills. And obviously their performances throughout are mind blowing. Then we got on TikTok and there was this girl, or maybe Instagram, and she like would go and watch them, and they have two different routes for when it happens, so you can go because you see people on Times Square like
Amazing.
reacting almost like the paparazzi would react. It's so cool. I loved it.
Oh
It's
my
so cool.
gosh. I had already been interested in seeing that. I don't think it's still playing when I'm there in January,
Yeah, it will
unfortunately.
be
It will
playing. I
be?
think,
Okay.
oh, they're going to be up for the Tony for sure for multiple things.
Then I'm
So
going to try to get tickets to that. Yeah.
it just opened in November, I think. So, or
Oh,
maybe
okay. Because for
October.
some reason, when I searched it, it wasn't showing up, but I also am bad at technology. So
I think it's going to be playing. I think it's going to be
great.
playing.
Great.
So
I'm going to totally get tickets to that.
highly recommend. And for those of you who are just listening, if you want to see something like it, when they did the Olivier Awards, because it started in the West End, they do have a version of it filmed of him doing the thing and coming into the awards show, which is also very cool. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's kind of cool to watch. So you can find
That's
that online.
great.
Yeah.
Yay. Exciting. Well, thanks for that
Yeah.
recommendation. I'll take advantage of
Yes.
that rec when I'm there in
Yes. Oh God, I can't
January.
wait. Okay.
All right.
We gotta go. We've talked so long.
It's been
So
so fun, though.
so fun. So this is our sign off. Thank you for joining the Bravo bubble. Next week, I will continue to quiz Carla as she immerses herself in the world of Bravo. I have been Robin Lynn Norris.
And I'm Carla Kakowski. And if you have a question that you'd like to ask us, you can email us at thebravobubble@gmail.com.
Follow us on all social platforms at the Bravo Bubble.
And if you're into this podcast, we would love to get the word out to even more people. So it really helps if you can leave us a review on Apple or Spotify. That'd be awesome.
Our theme song was composed by Krista Duggan.
And our Bravo Bubble photography by Ian Zandy.
See you next time when we burst your Bravo bubble. Hi, everyone. Robin here with your next Bravo Bubble assignment. As always, you can find the quiz that I just gave Carla on this episode in the show notes. If you want to take it yourself, give it to a friend, play along with us. Because where we are, it's holiday time and we've got some breaks coming up. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to stay in the Vanderpump Rules lane. Carla really resonated with that one, so I feel I did my job well. So let's go all the way back to season 1, episode 1. Welcome to Sir. Have fun, and we will see you on the next one.